वसुदेवसुतं देवं
कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु महाविद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
I always, before I used to add others quickly, now it takes forever how to. All right there. Okay. इसको ऐसे ही रहने दे तो मेरे को ऐड करना होगा तो. Okay. Let's go with chapter 15. Are you ready? No? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys ready? Ali and Rehan?
Yeah.
Chapter 15. Okay. Bhagavad
Shubhavanuvacha
urdhmoolamadaශාක
अश्वत्थं प्राहुरव्ययं छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तं वेद स वेदवित् अधश्चोर्ध्वं प्रसृतास्तस्य शाखा गुणा प्रवृद्धा विषया प्रबाला अधश्चमूलान्यनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके न रूपमस्येततोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चातिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेनं सविरुद्धमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण चित्वा ततः पदं तत्परिमार्गितव्यं यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूय तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये
यत् प्रवृत्ति प्रसृता पुराण
निर्माणमोहजितसङ्गदोष आध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामा द्वन्द्वे सुखदुःखसंज्ञे गच्छन्त्यबुधा पदमव्ययं तत् न तद्भासेते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावक यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतसनातन मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति शरीरं यदवाप्नोति यच्चापत्कमतेश्वरं गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धनिवाशयत् श्रोत्रं चक्षुस्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणमेव च अधिष्ठाय मनश्चाय विषयानुपसेवत उत्क्रमन्तं स्थितं वापि पुञ्जानां Bhagavatam Vimudānanupashyanti Pashyanti Jnanachakshusho Yatanto yoginaschainam Pashyantatmanya-vishtatam Yatanto Prakritatmano Nenam Pashyanti Chetasa Yadaditya-gatam tejo Jagadbhasete kilam Yakshardamasi yakshagno Tattejo viddhimamakam Kamavesha cha bhutani Dharayamyahamojasa Pushnami choshadi sarva Somo bhutva rasatmaka Aham Veshvanaro bhutva Praninam dehamashita Pranapana samayukta Vachanyanyan chaturvidam Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto Mata smritirnyanamapohanam cha Vedeshcha sarvirahameva vedyo Vedanta krudveda videva chaham Vaimo purusho loke Shar shakshar eva cha Shara sarvani bhutani Bhutasto shararchite Uttama purusha svanya Paramatme tudarata Yo lokatayamavishya Vivartavyaya ishvara Yasmat charamatitoham Aksharadapi chotama Atosmi loke vedecha Patita purushottama Yomam masambuddho Janati purushottama Sa sarva vidvajati mam Sarva bhavena bharata Iti guhyatamam shastram idam uktam maya naga Etad buddha buddhimamshat Krita krityascha bharata
Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Purushottam Nama Yoga Panchadasha Adhyaya. Okay, let's come back to our chapter that we are doing, 9th chapter. So we started 9th chapter last week, right? Was it last week? What do you want?
Give me a piece of paper.
Oh, take it from
White paper.
white paper, take it from there.
Oh.
On the bottom, right there. Whoa, no, on the same shelf but on the side. Same shelf. उस notebooks को ऊपर कर. Yeah, और ऊपर कर. Okay, so 9th chapter we started, and the name of 9th chapter is Secret and Vidya. So he's talking about Guhyam Jnana and Guhyam's secret, which is so Raja Vidya and Raja Jnana, right? So those are the two topics he's taking, knowledge and secret, both, right? So that what he's trying to say here. And in 8th chapter we understand Saguna Bhagwan, right? The Bhagwan that has guna, right? Here we're gonna talk about a little bit deeper understanding of Nirguna Bhagwan, right? So Saguna Bhagwan is what he last chapter he explained everything about Saguna Bhagwan and what happens after the death and where we go, and he talked about our form, what happens to our form, how does it, how does the we release our consciousness out of our body, this form, the body, mind and intellect, and then what happens after the consciousness releases the body, right? So that was all about 8th chapter. And again, basic concept that when we leave the body, whatever the last thought of our life would be, that's what gonna create our next janma and our next actions and our next things, right? So that was all in 8th chapter. Now in 9th chapter, it's a little bit more deeper to that, right? So how that we have these 3 kinds of in English there are 3 words, like the good, better, best, right? The infinitive, the comparative, and the superlative degrees of the words, right? The same way in Sanskrit also there are. So he said Guhyatam Tamam. This one is Guhyatamam, means the superative degree of the word, right? So there are three different words of Guhyatamam means the royal, the deepest knowledge, right? So this one is the deepest knowledge, Guhyatamam, which is, the best, like good, better, best. So that's the best, the deepest knowledge. Now, so if there is a best, there has to be a good and better also, right? So the same way in these knowledge, there are three kind of knowledges. So the first knowledge is how to live in this life, right? So we talk about that, how to live in this life, like, morality, the ethical life, and what should we do, what should we not do, like we should not lie, we should not hurt other people, we should not do anything wrong with somebody, we should live a good life. Kind of that knowledge is the first level of knowledge, right? Then the second part is where we said, okay, what happens after the death, right? So that's the second part of it. You go, if you do good work, you go to heaven. If you did bad work, you fall down to the lower nature of the thing, lower natures, and you probably become animal or something like so. That is the second part of the knowledge, right? Second step. Then the third step comes where it becomes like, what is beyond all this, right? What is the absolute truth to this? What is this, like, how do you live in, it's not about just living in this life, but also beyond this body, mind, and intellect. What is it? So that's what he's talking about in this chapter is Guhyatamam, right? So the highest knowledge. Now we got that point, right? All the other knowledge are mostly relative, right? As I was explaining in last class, most of them are a relative knowledge, right? So if we are doing this knowledge that we have in this world are relative to this body, mind, and intellect, right? So whatever knowledge I have is in my mind, in my related to this knowledge, this body, mind, right? Then you become, when you relate to the consciousness, your knowledge becomes, to that level, it goes to that level, right? So right now, all the knowledge, transactional knowledge, is mostly relative knowledge, right? Because of all the knowledge is coming through this mind to me, it stays in this mind and it stays like in relation to something. But when this relativity goes away, that's when the higher knowledge comes, right? So it's, again, I'm just giving you a little bit foundation so you can understand this chapter in a better way. So first two slokas that we were trying to do last week were, the God is saying that I'm going to give you this Guhyatamam knowledge, this deep secret knowledge to you. And one thing he says, so this knowledge, after knowing this, you don't want to know anything else. This would be the most supreme knowledge. After this, you don't need any other knowledge. This will be the ultimate knowledge of what you will get, right? Any subject that we study, it's never, even if you do PhD or master, you don't know the entire part of it. Like, let's say if you did the PhD in English, but it doesn't matter that you do PhD in English means you know every single thing about English. There will be something still left over that you don't know. But God is claiming that after knowing this knowledge, you would not need anything extra to know, right? So first thing that he said that. The second thing he says that this is a secret, right? Which I was explaining last week is why is it secret? We went over it is secret because there is a lot of prereq that we have to do. It is out there. It is, I was saying Vivekananda Swami addressed this as an open secret because it is open. Like, everybody can study Gita. Gita is everywhere. There is no restriction. Anybody can go to the bookstore, get it, study. There is no restriction. But what it is that even if there is no restriction, it's very hard that people study it first of the time. Like, it's very, very hard to get yourself, up there to study this. Then even if you study, you would not understand the knowledge of it, right? I was telling you this, I was telling Sean or somebody that I study this. This is like 4th or 5th time I'm studying Gita with you guys. till I didn't get the guru to explain me, I was just reading the book and getting the, what are the meaning of the shlok and moving forward. I was not getting the point. Even in chapter 8, when I was studying, you remember that last 2 shloks that it says that if you die in certain, if you die and you take the brighter side or the darker side of whatever you did, depending on that, you can take any path. There are 2 paths and you can take any path. And it says that, the deity of northern side of the sun, when they take you to the brighter path. When it is a smoke god, it will take you to the, dark path. And when I studied till now, I was in the impression of that, okay, when somebody died during those months, they go to the brighter path. And when somebody dies during these months, they go to the darker path, which is so wrong interpretation of those shloks, right? So I just tell you that it is secret because it's very hard to get it. And it is secret because not everybody, though it is available, not everybody gets it, right? So he says about that this is a secret knowledge. And I also talk about that, all these things that we have to know, like, that I was saying that I studied this so many times, but I'm not getting the right information, or I'm not getting the right way what the interpretation is, because there are some prereqs that you have to do. Like, we talk about vairagya, we talk about, vivek, vairagya, we talk about that you should have shama, dhamma, uparati, titiksha, shraddha, samadhana, all those things, and mumukshutva, that all quite you should have it to understand this knowledge. So, right? So again, we are not there, but it's no harm in, how many times we have to revise something to understand it, right? And definitely a good guru is needed, right? So to explain it. So one thing is that I wanted to make sure that this is why he said secret and why he said it's supreme knowledge, right? Then in the second shlok, he mentioned that I'm giving it to you just because you are the person who doesn't find fault in everything, right? So another basic foundation, rather than all those things that we said, viveka, vairagya, all these things are definitely needed, are prereq. But one important thing that you need in this is Krishna Bhagwan is giving it to, he said that I'm giving it to you because you are the person who doesn't find fault in other people or other things, people, situation, whatever. Sometimes we are so into this worldly thing that we think about that if something doesn't work according to us, we blame the situation. Oh, my situation was so bad. Oh, my, we find fault in the situation. We find fault in other people. Very easily we find fault in, it is all God's fault that he did that to me, or this is why, because God put me through this, or the situation is so bad, or this person was so bad to me, so mean to me, or little things also. I have seen people criticizing how somebody looks, like how bad this person looks, and how bad this person is, or how bad. So finding fault is very easy to us, right? And that's what I have seen, like, even criticizing somebody about being big, or how fat this guy is, or how how ugly he looks, and kind of that thing. So it's very easy to find fault. What Krishna Bhagavan is saying here, if you are kind of that person who's going to find the fault, don't even, and in later on he will say, don't share Gita with those people. Don't even talk about me, because those people will not get it, right? So don't even try it. So he's saying that because you are kind of that person who don't find fault in other people, don't find fault in other things, that's why I'm telling it to you. So again, whatever bigger things we can talk about in this world or in this Gita, big things, we can say, oh, Vairagya, let me find Viveka in me, let me find this crimination, or let me find this passion, and I will do murmushatva, I have desperate thing to find God. All these things will not even touch you until you don't do the basic thing. Like, first thing he said that you don't find fault in other. And this is very check mark to me all the time. I keep myself in check mark with this thing, because I feel like Krishna Bhagavan said one thing, that this is what you have to come out of it, and until you don't come out of it, you should not even study Gita. So I always think whenever something comes in my mind to find fault in other people, I remind myself that okay, and then I will not be eligible to even study Gita, right? So that makes me pull myself back, saying that, oh no, everybody is so good, everybody is good, nobody is, everybody has God in them, or however you want to picture it, but that's what you have to keep thinking about it, that then I will not be eligible to even study Gita, right? So that's one thing, important thing we need to think. So those were the 2 shloks that we did, and what was the one thing I wanted to, I missed it last time. We talk about Gyan and Vijnana, right? So he's talking about, he is not just giving the Gyan, but he will also show you how to realize that Gyan, right? So that's again important thing, that we have Gyan and Vijnana. And what he says, after knowing this, you would not be even, you would not have to worry about knowing anything else, right? So at that point, he is telling you that this is the biggest supreme knowledge, and though it is secret, but you will get to know it by studying Gita, right? So that's what it was. The second shlok, he talks about 4 or 5 different qualities that this will give you. The first one was, it is holy, it is direct. This knowledge is direct. It's not an indirect knowledge. So you will get it, then you will get it. It's direct, like if we say that, okay, you do all these shlokas, or you do all these prayers, or you do all these vidhis, like put diya, put water on Bhagwanji, put milk on, or give all these things to the Bhagwanji, then your puja will be fulfilled, or something like that. There is a process, right? In this knowledge, he says it's direct. You get it, you get it. You don't get it, you don't get it, right? So it's very direct. It's not, if you do that, or if this is the path, you have to do step number 1, step number 2, step number. So it's not that process, it's direct process. You get to know no consciousness, that's it. And then the body mind is not real, consciousness is real. As soon as you get it, that's it. Other than that, you don't need anything else to know, right? So it's direct, it's righteous. So it's definitely dharma is in there. It's not, this knowledge is not anything that will take you or lead you to adharma or doing the wrong things. So this knowledge will always make you righteous, right? So that's one thing. Then it's easy to practice. It doesn't have, as I said, not a long list of procedure that you have to do. It's a very easy to process it or practice it, right? So when we talk about spiritual practices, it's not practice for becoming something. It's not about spiritual practice. It's not about becoming something. It's actually unbecoming something, right? You are come with a default setting of, I'm this body, mind and intellect. We became somebody, right? We became, like I became Sonal, somebody, right? Spirituality processes to unbecome Sonal, right? So unbecoming something, right? It's not a practice that you have to practice something. What should I practice? Oh, I want to go on spiritual practices. What should I do? Tell me, right? Should I do meditation every morning? It's not about doing something. It's undoing something, which is, undoing means whatever you are doing, whatever have you been doing so far, we are doing as this body, mind and intellect, we want to undo that, right? It says that the best meditation is not to sit and do the meditation on the time. In the mind, when you think that you are nothing, the deep sleep stage, right? When we reach to the deep sleep stage, what happens is there is nothing, right? There is, you are not sleeping as a mom, or you are not sleeping as a kid, you are not sleeping as a person, right? You are sleeping as a no, there is nobody there, there is no character related to you, right? And in the deep sleep, and that's why, because there is nothing connected to you, you are the happiest in deep sleep, right? You are the happiest because there is nothing is connected to you, right? As soon as you take that connection out, you are the most happy and all the time happy. That's why, it says that. Now when you disconnect yourself, whenever you sit down of meditation, or whenever you get a minute and feel like that take yourself out of it, means I'm not this person, right? Become nobody, and then the meditation starts, right? So you have to always think about that you are nobody, and then you started. That's what it gets to that point, right? So when he says that it's a very easy practice to do, it sounds easy when you reach to that point, right? So it's easy, he's saying, because he has done it and he achieved it, so it feels easy. For us, it's hard to become nobody when we are actually, defaulted it by saying that we are this person. So taking that, erasing everything and then becoming nobody, that's hard. But in this, he's saying it's easy, so it's easy for him. Then it says that it is take you to imperishable, right? So again, it leads to the place where you will never be destroyed, or you will never be go from birth to death, right? Somebody says, oh, life is doing very good, life is good. Life is actually, life is a death, because if you born, you will die. That's for return, right? But if you are taking as, okay, I'm born, then end is always there, right? But if you don't pick the birth part, then there is no death to it, right? So he's going to connect you to imperishable. So that's what he was saying. And then he says one avyayam. Yeah. So he is saying avyayam means one time you get it, you will never lose it. Right? So he's saying about avyaktam means if you learn the bike, no matter if 20 years you don't ride a bike, still after 20 years you will take a bike and sit on it. What happens? You will do it fine, right? You will never forget about it. Even like swimming, you learn one time, you will never forget about it, right? So this vidya is kind of that. You will learn one time, you will get that thing one time, and you will never have to redo it, right? So one time you get that okay, I'm not this person, I'm nobody. When you get to that stage, then you don't have to whenever you want it, it's going to be available for you, right? That vidya will be available for you, right? So that's what it is. So let's start with shlok number 3. We have this 2, and then let's start with number 3. Okay. Preha, you want to take this one? Raja, you want to take it, beta?
Sure.
Okay. Chapter 9, Shlok 3.
Three?
Yeah.
Okay. Ashraddhanana Purusha.
Ashraddhana Purusha
Dharmasyasya Parantapa.
Dharmasyasya Parantapa
Apyapya Mam Nivartante.
aprapya mam nivartante
Mrityu samsara vartmani.
mrityu samsara
Vartmani.
vart
Okay, all together.
Ashraddha
Ashraddhana Purusha Dharmasya Dharmasyasya Parantapa
aprapya mam nivartante mrityu samsara vartmani.
Okay, word said.
Ashraddhana, those who are faithless, Purusha, such persons, Dharmasya, toward the process of religion, Asha, this, Parantapa, O killer of the enemies, Aprapya, without obtaining, Mam, me, Nivartante, come back, Mrityu of death, Samsara, in material existence, Bhartmani, on the path.
Okay. So what he is saying here is, Arjuna, people who having no faith in this knowledge, right? Now he is giving the other part of it, who doesn't have a faith in this knowledge and don't want this ultimate knowledge. They are all the time interested in all the worldly things, kind of, they here and there, failing to reach me. And what happens to that? Continue to revolve in the path of world of birth and death. So he is giving ultimate thing too. Before giving the
Why does he address him as Parantapa in this one?
Parantapa?
Like, why does he address him as that instead of like the normal one to use it?
So he's saying that what where did it go? The faith, who is the killer of the thing?
Why is he addressing him like that instead of like the normal way he addresses him?
Because he is talking about how the birth and death will keep coming. Now he's very strongly telling this slok, right? People who don't have faith in it. So, oh killer of the, because he is pointing out, because that is a suffering world. So he's pointing that out by even saying that to Arjuna, right? Okay, because you are the killer who have, who has seen people, and he's Arjun, what has started with it, that I don't want to kill people, right? Yeah. So he started with that. What he's pointing it out, that people who's gonna not believe in this, having faith in there, what's gonna happen to them? They're gonna keep going with birth and death. So that's why he's pointing him out with that word. Yeah. Right, you got it? Because he started with that I don't want to kill anybody, I don't want to do this, and he's saying that in this war there will be so many people will be killed, but that's how it's going to happen. So he's saying that the people who don't take this path, what's going to happen is you might kill them, right? So that's what he's pointing that out. That's why he said to him this normal word, right? So what he's saying here is people who don't have faith in it. Now, usually what it says, that the faith is always in all the philosophy there is a faith, right? In any religion you say, without faith you cannot even start the religion, right? You have to have faith in God, or you have to have faith in the process of what written in the scriptures. So there is always a faith, where in Vedanta that's the biggest challenge, that they said that you don't need faith. But to begin any study, like when you enroll in a class, right, or you pick a book for that class, you actually go with the faith that this professor will teach me physics, or this professor will teach me math. Whatever faith you have in that professor, that's how you sign up for the class and you go in the class, right? To begin with, you have to have a faith. Then after studying that book or studying with that professor, you feel like, okay, yeah, what he's saying is correct, and I have felt it, I have figured it out that this is the correct. But before attending the class, how did you go with that class? Was on base of faith, right? Or on base of trust that this thing is there and I'm going to study this. math thing with this professor, and he's going to teach me this. So that's how I'm going to, but initially I went with the faith. So what he's saying that first of all, before I start giving you the knowledge, I want to make sure that you have to have a faith in this knowledge. Unless you don't have a faith, you will not understand it. And what he's telling a little bit stronger words here is why? Because he's saying that people who don't have a faith are going to keep circling out in this life and birth cycle, right? So he's not picturing this life and birth cycle as a fun thing. He's picturing it, he's framing it as a suffering, right? So he's emphasizing it that you guys, whoever doesn't have a faith in this knowledge, gonna keep suffering from birth to death. So that's how he is giving an ultimatum to everybody that, hey, start with the faith, right? And now with this Vedanta knowledge, Vedanta says that when you start with the faith, you don't end up after knowing the knowledge that it's based on faith. It's going to now turn into fact, because you're going to have the experience. You're going to have that realization and experiencing it. So then the faith will turn into the fact. But initially you have to step in with the faith in this knowledge, right? Got your point, Nana? Okay. So that was number 3, that he is giving a warning kind of thing, right? So slok number 4th and 5th, that's the in nutshell the entire knowledge he gives in. So slok number 4 and 5 is the supreme knowledge that he give it to him. Now there is a lot of different interpretation to pull it out. So different, different philosophy in Hindu religion takes this differently, and there is a very deeper meaning. On superficial meaning, if we take it, we will get confused. But if we go little step by little step deeper, then we will understand what he's trying to say. But that's the mystical teaching that he does give in Shlok 4 and 5. So that's going to be the main important shloks, the whole entire chapter 9. So these 2 shloks. How about we take these 2 shloks together? Because if we don't take it together, probably we will get confused in this one. So can we read both together, and then we'll move on. So go ahead now. So first read 4th one, and then we repeat the 4th, and then we read the 5th one.
Maya tatatamidam sarvam.
Maya tata idam sarvam.
Jagad avyakta murtina.
Jagat avyakta murtina.
Matstani sarva bhutani.
Matstani sarva bhutani.
Na chaham teshvavastita.
Na chaham teshvavastita. Maya tatamidam sarvam.
Jagadavyakta murtina. Matstani sarva bhutani. Na chaham
teshvavastita. The next one.
Na cha matstani bhutani.
Na cha matstani bhutani.
Pashya me yogameshwaram.
Pasya me yogameshwara.
Bhuta brahna cha bhutasto.
Bhuta brunyascha bhutasto.
Mamatma bhuta bhavana.
Mamatma bhuta bhavana. Together. Na cha mastani bhutani. Pasya me yogameshwaram. Bhuta brunya cha bhutasto. Mamatma bhuta bhavana. Got it? Okay. Can we do the words first?
For both?
Yeah.
Maya vani tatatam otatam
Tatam.
pervaded. Idam this sarvam all jagat cosmic manifestation avyakta murtina by the unmanifested form, Matstani in me, Sarva Bhutani, all living entities, Na, not, Cha, also, Aham, I, Teshu, in them, Avastita, situated. For so far.
5, yeah.
Na, never, Cha, also, Matstani, situated in me, Bhutani, all creation, Pasya, just see me, just see, me, my, Yogam, Aishwaram, inconceivable mystic power, Bhutabhut, the maintainer of all living entities, Na, never, Cha, also, Bhutasta, in the cosmic manifestation, Mama, my, Atma, self, Bhuta, Bhavana, the source of all manifestations.
Okay, good. So let's start with the shlok number 4 of the meaning. All this, he's talking about all this is pervaded in me. So the first thing is all these, first step, all these is pervading in me, right? First step, all in me. So all this thing is pervading in me, number 1, right? Then what he's saying, me of unmanifested form, right? So he's also talking about how. Let me actually first do the whole slok and then we will break it down. So all this is pervading in me of unmanifest form. All being are in me, but I'm not in them, right? That's the whole slok meaning of slok number 4. Then the 5th one is, now he's contradicting his previous line. He said all is pervading by me, then he's saying all being are in me, and now he's saying nor all those beings are in me. Behold my divine mystery, though the sustainer and the creator of being, yet myself is not in these beings. So first he's saying everything is pervading in me.
He's saying everything's in me first. And nothing's in me then.
Yeah, and then he's saying nothing else is there, right? So he's talking about 3 different things, right? So we have to make sure that we understand why he's talking. First of all, we have to have a faith what he's saying is correct, right? He's Lord, he knows more, he has more experience than us, he knows everything. So we want to make sure that we understand. Now when he's talking about everything is pervading in me, it doesn't make first thing that he is not talking as a Krishna. We have to be very clear in this, that he is not talking as Krishna, because in Krishna, body, mind, intellect, with that Krishna avatara, can he pervade in everybody? No, he is in physical form, right? So he very clearly says that he is not the Krishna that he's talking when he said everything is pervading in me. He's not that charioteer of Krishna or Arjuna that's sitting there. He's not that, right? He's not saying me as a Krishna. He's saying everything is pervading in me of unmanifest form, right? So not the manifest form. He's talking about some form that is unmanifest, right? So we don't see them. So that's what he's saying, all in me as unmanifest form, right? So when we talk about this, first of all, it's not the physical form that he's talking about, because when it says Vaktya Murtina, Murtina is the form, right? Murti, right? Murti is a form. But he's saying that Avyakta Murtina, Jagat Avyakta Murtina. It's not that a person can see the form. He's talking about something that he's pervading as unmanifest thing, right? So he's saying I'm pervading in everything as an unmanifest. Now, question rises, what is pervaded that is unmanifest, that is in everything, right? The first of all, we need to figure that out. What is he talking about, right? So now he's not talking about a form. He's not talking about as a Krishna that he's pervaded, but something is pervading in everything. Now, let's say, look around yourself, right? Everything, right? Everything is there, right? everything is existing, right? Everything is in existence around you, right? So what is the common thing that everything has? Like some things are living, some things are non-living, but one thing in there that is there in everything that we are seeing or that is existing. What is there? What is one thing that you see around? I think my answer is in the question. That is existing everywhere. The existence, its existence is in every single thing. That this thing exists. Can you deny it? Everything is existent, right? So the existence in everything, so and the whole entire world is pervaded by the existence. Is that a true statement? Everything is existed, right? Can you say that I'm not existed? You cannot say. Can you say this board is not existent or this pencil is not existed? It is existed. That's why you are seeing it in the form. So everything is pervaded by existence. Is that true? Right? True statement? Everything is there, right? Even in our thoughts, when we see something that we are not seeing with our eyes, right? But let's say the Eiffel Tower, that is existence. Though we are not seeing around it, but we know because in our mind, we have that knowledge that there is something named Eiffel Tower existed in this world, right? So the existence is there, right? So existence is always there, that is pervaded with everything. Now, these three things that he said, that I'm pervaded in everything, everything is in me, nothing is in me, all these three things that he said, we'll take the example of, in Vedanta, Shankaracharya, and they all took this examples of, the gold and the ornaments, the pot and the clay, and, the wave and the water. So we'll stay with those examples so we can understand it very well, what he's trying to say here, right? So let's say we take pot and clay, right? So clay is pervaded in the pot, right? Am I saying it correct? Right? The whole clay, the pot is made by the clay, right? So the clay is everywhere pervaded in the pot. Now, when we take it, all the waves are also pervaded by the water. That's right statement, right? All the gold ornaments are pervaded by the gold, right? So that's the right statement, right? The same way, consciousness, the existence is pervaded by everybody in this universe. That's the correct statement, right? Now he says that the second step was what step? That everything is, what is the second thing that he said?
It is unmanifested form.
Yeah, it's unmanifested form, which we made it clear, right? It's not the manifested form. Where is that?
All beings are in me.
So now all beings are in me, right? Now he said all in me. Then he says that all is pervaded in me. Then all in me. Hold on. We are skipping one step here. I am in all. This is the second step. So I am pervading in all. I am in all. Then all in me, right? And then I'm not in. All not in me.
Wait, my just means like God, right? Like when he says my.
Yeah, I.
No, like that means just God, right? Like if he says like in my, I'm in it.
Yeah, so make sure that you understand here he's talking about Nirguna Bhagavan. We are talking about the consciousness then, right? We are not talking about as Saguna Bhagavan, as a Krishna or as a Vishnu or as a Shiva, right? So now that's the difference between what we are saying is why it becomes a little bit deeper, because we were talking in 8th chapter about the form of the Bhagavan, right? Now we are talking about Nirguna, there is no form, right? So we are talking about the next level of God in this chapter. So he's saying that I am in all beings, right? So I'm pervading everything, that he says, the existence came, right? Then he says all beings are in me, right? All beings are all in me, all beings are in me. So then what happens is, then we talk about that, when we say that, okay, you take this pot, and if you look into the pot, I will say that, oh, inside this pot there is clay. But when you look inside, there is no clay inside the pot, right? Right? So what is it? It's not inside. It could be water, it could be, milk or anything in the pot, or it could be flowers in the pot, whatever we say. In the pot, we will never say that there is a clay in the pot, right? You got that point? So we will not say that gold is in the, the ornaments are in the gold. We will not say that, right? So what he is saying that pot is in the clay, right? That's how we will present it. Pot is in the clay, right? So the clay part of the pot, the boundary of the pot, it could be filled with milk, water or anything, but pot is in the clay. Like the wave is in the water, because what happens is the water was before also, the water will stay after also, but the wave will come and go. So wave is in the water. Understand my part? The same way, when we say the universe is in the consciousness. Get that point? Right? So the second part, he's saying that all in me is water. So the wave is in the water, right? The pot is in the clay, right? Then the ornament is in the gold, right? So that's the way how you will say that the universe is in the consciousness, right? So the 2 points are clear. The first, he is saying that I am pervading and everything. So existence comes from him, right? The consciousness comes. So everything is pervaded by the consciousness. Then the second step, if we go further, it says that the whole universe is in me. You got it? So all in me, right? So that comes the point, second point. All is in me means the entire universe is in the consciousness, right? So that's the whole entire universe is in the existence. That came. Now the third step, he's saying that I alone exist, right? So then what happens is I alone exist means consciousness alone exists, nothing else. All the others are form and thing. So now when you get a deeper meaning to it, you think about that when you say that this is the part that is made up of clay, right? Then when I will say, show me that you are talking about pot and clay, two different things. Show me where is the pot without the clay. Can you show that? Show me the pot without the clay, or show me the gold element without the gold. Is there an existence of two different things? There is not, right? What you see is that there is a gold. Now you can make any different jewelry with the gold, different forms, different shape, different sizes. There is different, but what is it? It's gold itself. I cannot separate the ornament from the gold, right? The same way you cannot separate the consciousness from the existence or from the universe, right? So it has to be, that's the only thing. There is nothing else, right? You got that oneness. The third step brings the oneness to everything. There is no two things, right? You cannot say that, oh, I am there, existence, and the existence is separate. You cannot separate you and existence separately, right? You and existence are one. That's why it's there, right? You are existing because it's one, right? Clay pot is there because it's clay there, right? Clay made the pot. Or gold is there, ornament is there because gold is there, right? The waves are there because water is there. Can you separate wave and water? They are not two different entity. They are the same, right? So the God, what he's saying, that first step you go, you see that everything is pervaded by God. Okay, so we said, okay, everything, this whole universe is made or created by the God, right? So that's the first step when we say that everything is. Then he says that all is in me, right? First, everything, I am in all is in me, and then nothing else, I am only. That's the 3 steps. Got that on this? It's a little bit deeper knowledge, but we want to make sure that we understand it very well. So you can be at any step. It doesn't matter. All are leading to God. All are leading to the right place. You can be either, everything is I am in all in me, or I am only, nothing else exists. All these 3 steps, you can be in any of them, right? And you can get connected to any of these 3 steps. But what happens is that, it doesn't matter to God which step you are connected in, right? You could be saying that, oh no, I love this, that everything is God, nothing else, right? The everything, oneness, there is only one thing existing is God, everything is God. Or you can say, no, I would say that I'm separate, God is separate, and God is pervading in me. Oh, okay, I feel God in my heart, or this thing, and all the other things God is not. Then you can stay in there. As far as you have faith in this and you get connected with any of these things, you are good to go, right? So again, repeating it with step number 1 is all, I'm in all, right? So God is in everybody. When you say, okay, the other person is made up of God too, God is in everybody's heart, God is there, so I'm in all, which Krishna Bhagavan is saying, which we are saying that existence in all. So we are talking about existence in there, right? The second step is all are in me. So then we say that, okay, this is God. You will say Virat Swarup in later in the chapter of Krishna Bhagavan, where it says there is one consciousness and everything is in there, right? Everything is in there. And then the third step is nothing else exists except I am, right? So there is no other thing, it's only one. Got that point? Okay. So that's what he's saying in this. I want to explain more, little bit detail on the creation and sustainer, what he spoke in the second line of the 5th shlok, but we can do it next week. Nanu already closed the book.
I'm just guessing one more.
So I'm sure the time is done. So I will take the following part in the next class. Good? Okay. Let's finish. Vasudeva
Sutam Devam Kamsachano Namartanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah.
Okay.